ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, Mountain Dew, and ESEA.
Team X have already made the Swedes sweat, but NiP did manage to pick up the win just about over on Cobblestone. And now we do head into Overpass in our second map of the series. I've got myself, Henry G, and Yanko. Gentlemen, you had 5 minutes to compose your thoughts heading into Overpass.
Yes.
You got to see Overpass yesterday, both of you, getting to watch that one. What are you thinking? What are your thoughts?
Well,
I mean, you casted this game. You casted Overpass for NiP.
Yeah, it was a strange one. The fact that we didn't expect them to actually show up on Overpass. It's a map they don't traditionally play. VP very strong in that map, famously. Thing is, it's an online game, so you never really know what you're going to get with VP. It's hard to gauge how successful that was for them. But getting into overtime and not winning the game, but actually giving it a decent go with a stand-in as well. They obviously can play it, and they seem like they've kind of turned up tonight. It was a bit hit and miss at points. Like, they weren't really sure. I'm not really sure how they got back into it. I thought Team X had that one. It was like 13-7 at one point.
It was, yeah.
Like I said, they're the king of comebacks. So I still favor them going into this one. X, they need to step up here. They need to be able to close out these big leads and actually work out how they're going to cross the finish line. Like, they have pauses available, right? They didn't. Did they take it? I think actually they did take a pause. But
we saw one.
We saw one pause. Maybe it was them. But yeah, it's going to come up for those big performances from the likes of Vowed and Fritz again to actually get them a chance to actually get into this one.
Now, I don't normally do this, and this may crash and burn. But you know, you had how we saw that kind of CS:GO pro tip, whatever, just before we started. I like that pop flash and stuff. Yanko, do you ever watch? You know, what's something that you've seen on Overpass that you'd like to see more of? What's like something that you've seen and like an execute, a way to hold it? Is there anything in particular that springs to mind in regards to the way Overpass is played that you would recommend is done more?
I feel that there is maybe more room for early aggression towards the B bomb site. I think that because there's a lot of teams who throw the early Molotovs and smokes, I feel that you know, kind of forces teams to go for a slower default. But teams usually do that when they have more people towards the A bomb site, right? That's why you use your early resources, because you want to stop them early, where you take map control somewhere else. That allows you to then rotate back. And I feel that teams have started doing. There are teams who do it, you know, often, so to speak, because they know that that's a potential weakness. But just it basically applies to any map. Just more early aggression, more risk, which is, you know, hard risk reward and everything. But at least when you win pistol, right? When you have a bit of a cushion, I'd like to see that a bit
faster on to beat. But is that not limited by the places you can actually throw your smokes and Molotovs from? Like, I mean, do you have to take early water control to line up any of those?
You just do the exact pop flash, Alex. That was just on stream. You have one guy doing that, other guys running through the monster and just explode.
Just throw your body.
NiP actually have a really cool version of that as well. They have a really fast B execute they can do. They actually focus quite a lot on the B bomb site, especially with Get Right lurking. But they have a nice fast execute they can do. They do the smokes while running. They land like either side of the bomb site. They go for that fast plant. So the idea is you're sending your big fraggers in first through monster tunnel, then the bomb's coming out towards short, and the smoke's already bloomed for them. So you're actually trying to segregate the bomb site.
Wait, so where are these smokes? There's one.
So one lands on the left-hand side of the bomb site, one towards the ramp as well. You're flashing over, Molotoving towards the barrel area. So that's kind of like, that's open up the bomb site in a sense where you know whether the risk has been eradicated. So barrel's not going to be an issue. You've got players coming in fast, throwing flashbangs over as well. So look out for that from NiP. They're actually really good at that. Just to touch on Overpass as well, CT side aggression, that's obviously very important as well. It's actually one of my favorite maps to actually watch the kind of approaches you can have as a CT team. Obviously you have the connector area, you have long A. That's actually an idea I love quite a lot from VP. They're quite happy to play two players very aggressively towards the end of long A. And if you're not getting any sort of presence there after the first 30 seconds, you actually have the option to push into it and then start going behind them T-spawn if you do sense a B push coming in. So lots of stuff like that. That's why Overpass is a really cool map. Lots of options to the CTs. It's not as stifled as what we saw on Cobble, right? Where you're very limited in your options. It means you can be a lot more creative on the defending side.
Have we moved on from the aggressive CT then retract meta? I remember when we first started seeing a lot of Overpass, that was it. Like literally Fnatic did it and it worked, and suddenly every team would do these like a quick peek party, peek towards Fountain, push up long, and then suddenly they all recede after that initial aggression. Are we still there? Is that still the go-to CT strategy?
I think so. I think it's just how the map is structured, right? You have to at least get some early map information and then go for early aggression, because what you do then is, even if it doesn't work necessarily, at least force the Ts to be, you know, more cautious in their play, to spend more resources getting that map control. Because if you just play passively from the beginning towards the A bomb site, well, that allows all the map control to the terrorists, and when they get set up for that smoke execute towards A bomb site, it's really hard to defend it, you know, if they have a lot of time left. Most of the times you see it when teams don't have a lot of time left, so it gets kind of messy. A CT pushes through the smoke or something, and, you know, that usually ruins it for the Ts.
That's normally the main objective for the CTs at the start of the round. That's why they're doing that aggression. You You go in, the objective is just to get one kill. Then you can fall back to the bomb site there. You're not trying to win the round necessarily. You're actually just going in, stop an execution, but actually being a full possibility, right? If the terrorist has their smokes and their Molotovs and they're ready to do an execution, then it's going to be very easy for them to do that wall of smokes and get a plant down. Like we can see that Overpass, one of those maps, a lot of execution plays. Not so much defaults getting the kills, it's getting map control, like Yanko said. Wall of smoke goes down, Molotov's in, and then you're planting, and that's when the round really begins, right? The CTs have to rotate over. It's a difficult bomb site to get back into, especially towards A. Like you have to come up the steps, you have to come from bank, and it's all about us getting that first kill and locking down any execution potential for the team.
I actually hear it thrown around a lot that we talk about Overpass as being one of the maps that has the quickest kind of speed at which you can rotate because of that connector. Does this change the way it plays almost entirely to other maps because of the speed at which you can be basically onshore about to plant B to being in toilets about to be planting A?
It's about being able to, especially on the T side, like if you can have more of a mix-up and play in terms of your executions and having the fakes as well. Obviously, if you get a bar for control and you're pushing back along as well, and you do those wall of smokes, and you can get back towards connector, for example, and you have someone like Get Right, who's already lurked on the, like that's just what Get Right, he's famed for on Overpass especially. He'll be waiting towards that B site while his teammates are doing stuff towards A. The options are there. Let's say he lurks in and he finds a kill. Then he actually say to, okay, you can deploy your smokes and come back. I've already found the kill. I've already found the kill on the site. I've secured it. If he dies, it's still not the end of the world because he's trying to open the map. He might have spotted those two players towards B. He may not have got a kill, but he said there's two there right now. Get towards the A bomb site as quick as you can. Do the same execute. So there's definitely lots of options in terms of the rotations. You're absolutely right there, Alex.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, that is the map, and it will be coming up in just a moment. We are just switching to a different server, so we'll be joining in that one very, very shortly. In terms of individuals, we've been talking till the cows come home about Mr. Disco Doppler. We've been talking a lot about Freiburg as well. But on the other side of things, someone that we have yet to address too much is Valdi and his performance, because yesterday it felt like we were sitting there going, oh, well, underwhelming from Valdi. Today, we are now seeing him top of the scoreboard. Do we pop him in the same category? There's not too much history surrounding Valdi, right? He's in the same category as Disco. This is just a new Danish start.
Yeah, I think it could have perhaps even been around the same time, right?
Yeah.
I think maybe his first tournament was DreamHack Summer or somewhere around that time, and he really stepped up for the team and was initially a stand-in. They decided to stick with him and definitely shown that he has a lot of potential, putting up big numbers for this team.
I think he was the guy who didn't even have NHL TV picture until
You're
that
right.
tournament. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. That was the big story.
That was the funny thing. Like he had a question mark.
It's so great. Like he was influential making that game so close as it was. Like the CT defense, like aces against NiP against their full BXQ, which is famed for being really good. That's pretty nuts.
Can we just say how stupid it is, how much talent there is in Denmark? Like every, basically 2 months, there's another young up-and-coming player who seems to be incredibly good at playing the game.
And just Danish, or maybe some Swedes as well. There's a very exciting young Swede coming up.
What about the UK, Alex? What do you reckon?
Yeah, we've got this guy called Henry G who sits at desks now. I think that's all we've got.
I think you guys are like right up there with Serbia at this point.
Yeah,
we're on the hills. We're coming for them.
He's going to be a close race.
No, we're actually going to do a documentary on the UK stuff.
So, are you?
Yeah.
So why it sucks?
No, not necessarily. That's not the storyline. We were kind of wondering why in like 1.6 and Source we had some very successful lineups, and now in CSGO we've not really had anything. So we're going to explore. It's very investigate.
That actually sounds good.
Almost as sad as the Titanic.
It is a sad story. I was talking to your close friend Sliggy about it. He competes. In fact, he's recently been winning a couple of UK events because everything else is dead. And I was asking him like, why is this happening? And his response was, well, UK guys have a UK attitude, which means we all don't like each other. Does that sound like a storyline that makes sense?
I think that's
politics. Is it just politics on the UK scene?
I think that's being a bit kind there. Like, I don't think you can blame it all on this like personality and stuff like that. I think it's definitely lots of different sectors, the organisations, the amount of like the lack of professionalism in terms of the contracts and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And then the players not getting along and not necessarily approaching in right situations. Like we talked about nurturing the younger talent and bringing them up and teaching them stuff.
Not just dismissing them.
Yeah, you need to have more patience, I think. And these things take time. You can't expect to just pit 5 guys together like we did with the Easy Skins, right? We put 5 guys together and we expected, within 6 months we're going to be doing this. They had one good event, and then like a month after, everyone gets bored and they get an offer and they just want to leave, right? So you got to put it. I think a whole year needs to go into it. You need to take the bad results, take all the
it's not easy though, is it?
And
it's not like I think it's so easy to sit here in our little bubble and say, just forget about the bad results, grit, determination.
Well, the thing is, like, you're not getting a salary, right? So you can't, like, it's very easy to say, oh, you should be doing this as your job. You should be
why
doing
should
that.
I? Right.
But, like, if you're not getting paid and you don't really want to go to a full-time job and come home and grind 8 hours of CS in the evening as well. Like I did that for about a year, and it just kills your soul. Like doing two full-time jobs for no money as well. It's like it's not worth at the end of the day. You're never going to catch up in that sort of scenario as well.
I mean, but there's counterpoints to that as well. I mean, the prime example would be Epsilon, right? Recently in Sweden, they're all holding down full-time jobs and staying competitive on the European scene. It has been done. It's been proven to work.
I think it depends the most on the mentality of the players, right? At that point, I think it's determination more than anything else, right? You have a lot of players. I think that's similar between the Serbian and the UK scene, even though we joke around about it, that basically players put in a lot of time into the game, even when they practice and even when they, you know, compete, but they're not into it 100%. I feel like, you know, people practice, but they're not focused on it. They're just playing it more for fun. Even though they're practicing, playing in qualifiers and everything, you could be more productive, but it's not as fun as playing just, you know, playing that match here, showing up on practice. Oh, I don't want to practice this new strat. I don't want to practice smokes, flashes. Let's just play. Like, we'll get better. Let's just introduce another
that's
map
a bad mindset.
and everything. Yeah, I mean, you need
to be a professional.
You need to look at where the mistakes are. You need to have a good foundation. Then you need to work on that. And everyone needs to be, you know, willing to devote themselves 100% to it when they're actually at the PC. And I feel that you can clearly see it with a team like SK, right? You can see that they're a team who devotes themselves 100% when it comes to practice, and that's why they've improved so much in such a short time span.
And I mean, is it fair to say that Team X have improved as well? I mean, let's not forget this is the SK roster that was kind of often laughed about in terms of other discussions. So I'm intrigued to know what your predictions will be coming into this next map.
It's obviously can go either way, right? That game had so many swings and roundabouts. Like, NiP with the advantage, and X came back, and you couldn't really call it towards the end. I'm going to say NiP just because of the experience and the way they can close games out, and they never really give up. I'm still going to favour them. I think that they're across the board still going to have the better players. And
historically,
what I saw from Overpass, we say it's not a map they traditionally play in terms of what they play at big events and stuff like that. But they obviously still have set strategies. They have the defaults. They understand the map for sure. And I feel like they'll be able to close this one out. In my opinion.
All right, beautiful. Just a team name from you, Yanko.
X.
He's got a belief. He did it last time, and it didn't quite pay off. Let's see if his faith this time in the Danes will be rewarded as we dive into our second map. Let's see what the casters have to say.
Thank you very much, gents. Lauren, they're split on the desk in terms of their predictions for this next one here between X and NiP. I mean, I don't think it was overly convincing from NiP on this map last night against VP. Bit of a grind. What are your thoughts here on who you think is going to take this one through?
I actually want to believe in Team X. I know that's kind of a strange thing to say, because I am a huge fan of the way NiP play, but I love the kind of grit and determination we saw from Team X again on Cobble. I liked what they did there. But I don't know if it's going to really translate against a team like NiP. These guys are incredibly good overall. They showed that they do have that resilience. They do have that comeback potential at all points. So this is going to be a tough one. NiP not exactly renowned for their Overpass play, but showing that they do have some real diligent play on this map recently.
Yeah, I think it is their least played map. I brought it up yesterday as well. They don't really... It's more of a veto. It's not really like a key pick, I guess, for NiP. Oh, look at that. We have a logo now as well. Still says SK Gaming, but we'll get past that. It's a big old X there, so now you know who they are. All right, so we're going to be heading into the pistol in just a few moments. The knife round results do see Team X on the CT side to start things off here as well. It's going to be Modi with a kit and a smoke. The rest of his teammates have armor with the USPs, and Freiberg going to be the utility caddy here for NiP.
Ooh, and the boost already kind of come out. So Team X just going to be position themselves up quite, I say passive, it's not passive. They're actively watching the peak, but no one's really available to get taken down just yet. There's actually 3 players here. Valda's here as well, so looking to try and do some early damage here, but the smokes have come down really nicely already. And NiP are going to get a plant, and it's going to be retake time very quickly here.
Team X become bystanders there to this take of that site by playing, I guess, with more passive positioning there as well. And now Disco Doppler looking for a little bit more, but Team X can keep them at arm's length and use those USP ranges to just chip them down one by one. Get right on, he gets himself one before he goes down. Bomb was down. And that may be enough for NiP here as well, as Team X definitely make a meal of them towards the end.
Yeah, really nicely constructed basic play coming back into that one. No one overcommitted, no one just ran in to take the quick fights. It was actually pretty smart the way they did that.
Just kind of Disco Doppler going to them, trying to find them, and getting caught out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, that was actually quite enjoyable again from Team X, just showing some discipline there. But NiP still got a plant, which is the main thing. So they're going to forego this round, or maybe incredibly light investment, nothing too much here, because you want to go into that third and be able to purchase the decent weapons. If they can get another plant, however, that would be brilliant. That would really make such a robust moment for them. But yeah, the P250 purchase, no armor, no utility with it. Perfectly fine. If they get anything out of this round, it's really good.
And Henry was talking about the execute for NiP as well. It's quite fast in the way they sort of set it up with the mollies and the smokes there as well. Saw a little bit of a hint of it last round, I feel, and how they managed to get onto the bomb site and plant so early on. But now, seems like they've got other ideas. It's 3 players towards long. Freiburg can get right in towards Plaza at this moment, and Freeze spotting one of them there as well. But NiP are relishing the chance to go all the way up long, close the gap on towards Team X, and they can use those pistols.
Yeah, I think Freeze actually saw both of the players as well. I like the way the Snappy's responded by pulling himself in towards into the underpass itself, but Modi was the one supporting on long. It did leave Freeze slightly isolated, which did equate to the threat that came in from Get Right. However, Modi with the UMP being the one to actually clean up, and they recover the M4 at the very end then. So still keep themselves in this, but this is the buy round that NiP can go for. They can buy pretty well. It's not the most, perfect buy. You can't get the AWPs out really at this point, but you can get enough to get some utility, some very basic utility here. Again, only 2 smokes so far, nothing else.
3 UMPs here for Team X as well, so they not really wanting to mix it up too much here as well. I mean, still full rifle loadout, I guess. Freeze gets himself an AWP. So NiP not getting too much off of that last round. No real surprise there as well. Once they got into effective range, they were still cut down ultimately by Team X here as well. And the Molotov early does stifle a little bit of this aggression from NiP, and you can see Glaive jumping across for the information spots. 2 players there in Monster.
Again, though, this is NiP getting a lot of ground gained. And they don't have any mollies to clear, so positions that Valda's in is still incredibly deadly, and he's going to be just fed the kills here. Peeking in 1 by 1 is going to be a perfect situation for him. He's negated the presence from anyone in Monster putting the flash down, and Snappy tries to come on the flank there and actually gets punished for that, so already back down to a 3v3. But look at the HP here. Gerai and Forest incredibly low. A nade could do them both at this point, and Glaive knows that. He's looking for these actively, and Gerai's the one with the bomb. He's all alone. This could be huge. If Glaive pushed out then, he could have caught him out, and that could have been almost round done and dusted there and then.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, Get Right was essentially pinned for that moment in that area with the bomb. It was a very vulnerable spot for him to be in, but he's been given a bit of a stay of execution here, Lauren. He managed to get away. Valde wants to try and spot him out as he crosses past Canal, but I do believe Forest is covering not that part of the gap, at least. Valde gets the bomb loose, gets the one player, and Exist falls down as well. This guy, 4 kills for him already in this round. He's had an excellent day.
He's playing incredibly well. This is beautiful to watch. It was the pacing on that. He took the peaks correctly, he didn't overstep. And now Forest is on 3 HP. What are you going to do here, Forest? You've got to go to some sort of beast mode to even get close to this. You've got 20 seconds left, the bomb's at least into your hand, so that's one small benefit, but at most, you just want to be saving this one, and he's been leaving it quite late to try and back away from this. I guess he wanted to just try and keep them being humble over by B as long as possible, but he's going to be able to get away here and probably keep that AK, that rifle into the next couple of rounds. But yeah, let's talk about Valde there, because he was absolutely integral to that round, and this seems like a consistent factor. His play on these sort of sites has been huge, and it's been a while since you've seen a player in that sort of spot be able to pull off those sort of moments. You look at maybe Astralis, Zipnix will occasionally have those moments where he can kind of be that very turret-style player and play it incredibly well. But again, would he get away with that if NiP had that flush buy? Exactly,
because it's not rocket science, right? He was just set up a Toxic near the barrels there. Now, if NiP had the Molotov, they often used to pull out and throw in that direction. It's unlikely he would have been able to sit there. So the fact that NiP weren't able to get quite enough money to really, like you said, flush them out in terms of utility, well, it ended up being their undoing there, as Valde was able to use a spot that's so often swept clean early in the round by teams setting up with those Molotovs and smokes. Yeah, and your one danger here is Forest, pretty much. He's the only one with the rifle on towards the T side. A couple of people upgrading their pistols, 2 deagles there and a P250 for Exist to close it out. Gerai going completely clean into this one. So for me, I'm hoping Team X play this smart, play quite deep to the sides, make them commit, draw them in, keep those rifles at that good length so they can really punish them. The only threat is pretty much Forest here, so you've got to be cautious of that. Those deagles can do damage, but they shouldn't allow themselves to get caught off guard unless someone hits, one of those real blistering shots. Again, Forest is trying to safely encroach towards this A side here as well. You don't want to be the player that gets caught off by someone around a corner with a cheeky pistol or, God forbid, a taser. So Forest spots it out. Lovely little double tap towards the head of Modi there as well. He just wouldn't have known what he didn't get sent back into next Tuesday now as well. Forest still wants to get involved here. The nade crushes Get Right, but Forest gets another one on towards Snappy here. It's still a 3v3, but NiP are onto this side. They've essentially got control. Exist plants and Forest on Overwatch here. Nice little setup there for NiP, especially how minimal they were brought into this round. Gorgeous aim from Forest. So controlled, so well placed. He's been using the others as feelers almost to allow them to take the brunt of the battle, but now he needs to put himself into this fight. It's a 3v2 here. He's holding the cross.
Forest. He does get flashed up. The bomb still playing pretty well for him. He needs to be hitting these crisply. He can't follow up towards Freeze, and there's the close down. The defuse will come in. Actually, Glaive does have a kit as well in case they need to use that. There you go. So that's going to close it down. Forest making a big impact there. 3 kills in that one, but couldn't do any more than that.
Yeah, I mean, so you had the 1 AK in that round that Forest saved. The rest was deagles and assorted pistols. You get 3 kills, you get a bomb plant. If you're NiP, you're satisfied, but you're not happy because obviously still now down 4-0. Obviously not ideal. They didn't get the sort of start they were looking for, but we've got Exist, Disco Doppler, and Freiburg yet to frag here as well. So for those guys, they're looking for opportunities to open up and actually facilitate NiP to control a bomb site, or at least get a decent setup and allow Get Right to lurk through. We want to look towards his lurking in this game as well when it gets to that point and see how he sort of exemplifies that role on NiP.
And they do at least have those Molotovs now on their side for the teaser. At least a couple. 2 to be very precise there. Exist and Freiburg
Too
now.
precise to me, Lauren.
I know,
approximate it, please.
Sorry, around 2. Get Right, they're going to go try and get that cheeky opening. Straight up, you know, the face towards the barrels. It doesn't always work out. It's dangerous to do that as well, but you know, it's Get Right. This guy can hit the shots. But again, Forest and the rest of the boys just pretty much playing this out default. No one's really committed anywhere too far.
Cheeky. The boost there above the smoke as well, allowing Team X to still have a bit of vision over the push out of Canal there as well.
Yeah.
No one forthcoming from NiP, probably luckily for them. A lot of this utility still being held onto, Laura. Now we're going to start to see some of it being let loose. The ballistas are being loaded up. Freeze flash briefly there on long, but opts to stay. And he gets smashed by Forest, who's just so sharp today.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Forest is hitting some actually pretty nice shots. You know, even for Forest, you know, when you look at this guy, it's like the guy has some really crisp aim, but this is impressive. Snappy's in a bit of a curious position. It could be great or he could be just completely swept aside. It's one of the two. You're not going to just have like, oh, maybe I'll get a couple or do something. But Exist finds him really quickly, and he was isolated. He couldn't back away from that. Moddy had already left and being like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to just stick out here on my own. So 5 players now standing for NiP. They're in a really good spot. They've cleaned this up well. They've forced Team X back towards the sides. Moddy now just going to be trying spotting out by the toilets. He's got to be careful. You do expose yourself when you're doing that, but it looks like NiP are setting up for this piece now, coming towards the site. A's looking more and more vulnerable, and Moddy is going to be burnt alive if he doesn't move.
Yeah, so he's forced away, and now see NiP can play from behind. He smokes quite nicely. You can't see NiP Get Right planning it all, should I say, and Freiburg's going to chime in as well. NiP over this one like moss on a rock. It's just Valve left now as well. He has to come in from dumpster. He's going to be put in a second, I think, at 27 health, having to back away sheepishly, and he won't get far.
And these are the rounds you just really enjoy watching NiP. It's that kind of all-encompassing style. You saw them getting those 2 initial kills into their favor, then they do that really well-constructed site hit that utilizes the mollies, the smokes. They kind of, I guess, smother the site in that sort of play, and they play so around it. They know where the kind of remaining spots are, so they can play in towards those. You can see Exist already positioned himself ready for any sort of spot that can actually try and counter it. I actually really like that in NiP, and I know it obviously turned a lot of people's heads when you saw it on Cash the first couple of times.
Absolutely.
These sort of practices. But again, Freeze has been getting aggressive on occasion. He does have Snappy there with him to try and lock down Underpass, so it means that he doesn't just get outflanked. He's got to be careful though, because Long will become vulnerable if he outstays his welcome. But again though, Valve are there actually going aggressive towards short as well. Just a little bit of a peek down, nothing too much, but it's only a UMP with Snappy.
Valve seems much less restrained so far today. Snappy there is all going to be caught out. Always the player on the flanker, on the lurk, or coming just from these pivot positions, but he won't be available to Team X this round.
And Freeze will need to back away soon. Yeah, there's no 2 ways about it. You can see him like edging back because I don't feel safe anymore. Because no one's watching that Underpass push up, so he doesn't know if it's safe or not.
And from where Freeze is watching, I think you can almost come out of Underpass and get to toilet block without him even being able to see it.
Yeah, exactly. And this means Long's pretty available. I think Moddy's been jump spotting it as well though from Bank, so they have some control, but Freeze is just kind of hoping. It's when you see them just go, well, I'm just going to make my choice. It's a 50-50 if they come here or not at this point. But NiP have actually taken themselves towards Long, so Moddy's can be the one to possibly get the information for this. He is just going to be spotting up and over. I'm pretty sure they're going to hear and see these flashes pretty soon.
He's going to be the punching bag as well. I guess the test rat to NiP's really nice Venn diagram of frustration when they throw down that utility. He was struggling to deal with it last round, as well as 2 smokes and a Molotov bang in between. So you're either damned if you do or damned if you don't. But Freeze, that's a great way to take a bit of momentum away from NiP now. Forced to maybe reconsider or slow down, but it seems that they still want to come forward here. He's just got flashed. Nice little delay tactics here coming out from Team X to slow things up a bit. Freeze is set up.
I think they might have failed to smoke it because you can still see long pretty clearly from Bank, but again, NiP going to play with what they have left, which is the 4 players. Valor gets picked up. He was very early on the side, but look at the time, Mitch. 8 seconds left. The spray comes in from Money. That's huge, but the plant is still going down. It doesn't get stopped, but it leaves Freiburg in an incredibly tough situation.
He's got the 1v2 here as well. A chance to flash him around the corner or maybe cause some damage here. Smoke, though, is actually going to just protect Team X here as well, as Freiburg still searching for his next target. He'll get picked up towards the left here as well, and Freeze comes in with a USP, takes him down. A chance there for the man, but it is lights out.
Yeah, it was just Modi being in the right place at the right time, playing it well. You know, Valor could have done that as well, but they checked it, they sprayed into it. That's a really common spot. It's a common corner. I think you saw Get Right doing really well at the last major from there. It's such a common spot just to go for the sprays, because you get to see a little bit of a cross-up from Long as well, and the push-up from Toilets, but Exist instinctively just going, no, not this time. But yeah.
Really good in with the Famis as well, and Disco Doppelin had 2 players to deal with there as well. Modi wasn't even the biggest threat on his list, and when you're getting 2 kills, you're not the biggest threat. That says a lot about your defensive setup and the threat you generate there.
Yep, going back into it though. We do have at least, you know, a really nice buy for both sides. We're going to see what NiP brings. We haven't seen that, you know, infamous B hit coming out yet. We haven't actually seen Get Right lurking that much either, you know, over by that B side. Again, I just want to see what they bring. This is still the early days to see what the teams are coming back in with after that little bit of a break. So it's still all up in the air.
Freeze there as well, not lingering too long towards middle here, despite having Snappy on side for him. Snappy hasn't opted to go down in towards Connector at all there as well. Obviously getting killed by Freiburg that prior round has left him a little bit, well, a bit iffy about whether he wants to be there in general. So he will back up Freeze, albeit from a far more passive position there as well. You can see on the minimap, he is standing behind him. He'll be watching the push out from Underpass. So, I mean, still achieves the same thing. They're still keeping eyes on Underpass itself, just not as active.
Can we just see where Modi is really quickly?
Is he in heaven? Yeah.
The problem is that Modi usually is the one spotting Long. When he's in this sort of spot, they don't have the information. Now, they're probably going to hear the flashes in maybe a couple of steps or just expect the presence. But the problem is that now with no one spotting it, they could actually get a shot towards this. Freeze is already adjusting for it, I think. He's actually going around towards possibly Bank or over by the dumpster.
Look at the ground gained here.
So yeah, NiP actually have a good shot at this. No one's really locking it down just yet.
I guess maybe because Freeze had Snappy quite close to him there as well, he figured he at least had a player that could rotate and watch Long if it was needed, but it's more of a false sense of security because the player was there, but neither of them were watching Long at all, and that's Exist is creeping up very closely here as well. Freeze may be caught off guard. So Molly does come down, the setup coming in here for NiP as well. Freeze can only really just smoke away at that one there as well. Snappy catches out Disco Doplin as well. Perfect from Snappy coming in, wants his 3rd. He's going to be denied it so far, and now Freeze has got a bit on his plate now to work with. Misses an important shot, and Freiburg will punish.
Freeze, you got to learn these, my man. Now, Modi is in a good spot. He's going to allow the plants to go down and maybe try and go back into it. I don't know if Freiburg saw maybe his feet there on the edge of the smoke. I'm not sure how he caught a glimpse of that one. I couldn't see it from his perspective. But now Glaze pulled himself over here. You're left in a 2v3 retake with 1 flash to your name and no kits. This is looking almost impossible to do.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a mountain to climb here in the next few moments for Team X. Freiburg, though, gets the peek out on towards Glaive and has responded quickly. Modi is there as well. Forrest going to miss that first shot as well. Exist being as low as he is, can't even get involved at this stage except be a peripheral player. But that time is ticking down as well. Modi didn't really have anything to work with in Forrest. Ever the reliable one is going to finish with the AWP. 006 there on our man, Disco Doplin. So, again, continuing the trend of some quieter performances today. Definitely not as impressive as he was last night, to the point where everyone was like, okay, this guy's a legitimate threat here. Today's been a little bit tougher for the man.
He did bounce back on the second half, at least, in
That
the
is
last
true.
game. That was the one, like, silver... I guess the silver lining to it was that he played very well on the CT side. Again, not doing too well on the T side just yet. Forrest being more of the primary opera in this one, and Team X going to go for the stack towards Underpass. At least a stronger presence here. You've got about 4 players on this, so
Wow.
could be quite fun.
A bit of a mother's meeting here for Team X as they hope just to canvas this part of the map off and, well, essentially make it into a bit of a meat grinder or trash compactor, depending on which way you're inclined. And NiP respect this as well. They're playing this round out really slowly. Freiburg has 0 information gained from being in Underpass himself. He hasn't pushed far enough. He's being very canny about this, and I like that as well. They are respecting the fact that there might be something cantankerous afoot here for Team X. NiP look to be posturing in the direction of B here as well. So this stack, at least for Team X, allows them to sort of train out onto either of the sites if they have to. At least they're not committed to either A or B in its entirety.
Yep, I'm just going to go all the way around to B. The stack could still do pretty well. They can just go out of door and just try and catch someone out going through water. It's still fine. You know, they have absolutely
like a Navi
limited
round.
amounts. Yeah, this is incredibly solid. Look at the commitment as well. They're not being light on the usage of utility. They want to make sure this is clear. And they're going to find out there's a sea of players just coming up through short. There you go. It should be shooting fish in a barrel here. They shouldn't lose out on much.
Yeah, Freeze is going to be the next one to step up to the abattoir, if I'm not mistaken. Freiburg wastes no time in coming forward. But Snappy gets himself a cheeky little pistol kill. So that's 2 kills for Team X in that round, but obviously bomb plan in round 1 for NiP. They're bringing it back here slowly but surely. Wasn't a great start for NiP off the back of losing the pistol there as well, but they have, again, solidified, much like they did on the CT side there in that last map on Cobble.
Yeah, very reminiscent of that. But now looking at the buy coming in for Team X, it's pretty shoddy. A UMP for Glaive. Famas is all around. It's not looking too pretty. 2 rifles, proper rifles,
Sure.
I guess, with Freeze and Snappy, but yeah, that's not fun. B's looking pretty vulnerable if they actually go for that hit there. Again, though, NiP really haven't been doing it on the full gun rounds. They've been kind of slowly working their way up long, hitting that A site. It's been going really well, but Freeze going to be boosted up by Snappy there, trying to keep eyes on.
Going to be able to just get early vision, or at least some early warning if NiP start to trickle in their direction. Doesn't appear to be the case yet. Again, another slow roll here for NiP. Get right, it's probably one of the most furthest positioned forward players for NiP, which is just saying very, very little, obviously, in this round. Most of them are up towards Playground. Freiburg here still in towards Connector. And again, playing it out the same way he did that last round. Don't really know if NiP could have a solid read of what SK or what Team X have brought up in this round. Obviously, following that last one. Bit of an eco bash here as well. So reasonable to think that, again, Team X might have something up their sleeve.
Well, Team X has used both of their smokes are actually placed on towards B, and Glaive and Valda look like they want to go through the smoke. There's maybe just wait for it to dissipate. I don't know if this is a wonderful idea. This guy Doppelin is literally on the other side. Oh my gosh, the timing could have been awful then. He literally just turned around. Freiburg will be the one to do pretty much everything that was required there. Now Get Right's going to work his way up short. B is completely vacant at players, so they can make a play to this quite comfortably. Everyone else is pretty much over by A. Modi is the closest buy, but now bomb's going down. And this has just been a really, really disciplined round again from NiP here. Just all-encompassing. You've got to be careful, though. Forrest could be caught out. There isn't anyone really close to support him, so he wouldn't be able to be traded out for, but Modi, lots of discipline here. Look at this trigger discipline. Just wait and see if anyone else is going to come through.
He can do so much to disrupt on the site here now.
And no one expects anyone to come from this spot, because already you had someone walk through it, so he's got a kit. The only problem is, okay, so Disc of Dublin is on short. That's the only one thing. Modi, if he doesn't check this, it's done for, and there it is. The threat has been removed. That could have been much worse than it was.
Build up and then a bit of an anticlimactic finish there. Shame, but now those last few guns are going to be torn from the grasp of Team X. It's going to be NiP not allowing them to carry them into the next round, of which they will have a very limited economy. Glaive only with the 1 kill himself here as well. I mean, you know, while we're pointing out people who are having a little bit of difficulty, you can't leave him out there. A bit quieter for him. Obviously, just a very impressive performance in general at the major for Australis to have to obviously bring him in there as well, and then even use Zonic. To get to where they did was impressive, and a big part of that was Glaive. And it was actually the VP series where Australis lost that I thought was Glaive's most impressive moments there during the major.
I don't disagree. Again, though, going back into this stack towards Underpass. Last time, didn't really get the action it wanted. Freiburg.
You want Freiburg
the mad spray. He is going back in as well, and maybe didn't expect him being that close, but he's done enough. It's not pretty to watch, but it works.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Blunt objects still tend to do damage, Lauren, as well. A tenderizer mallet and a surgeon's scalpel. I guess if you want to just wreck something, I guess they're just as good as each other. It's just a different approach, you know. Speaking of approach, Snappy is inbound. To what? Well, a lot of dead bodies with comrades, seeing that not everything is as it should be as he walks down there, and it's going to be catching him easily enough.
Yeah, I just want to see what happens with Team X now that they're actually back on a decent buy. They haven't been too exciting to me on their CT side. It seemed kind of passive. Well, not even passive, just I don't see much creativity. There was the boost coming out from, I think it was Freeze and Snappy, and that's been about it, really. We haven't seen much more going on in B. Again, though, Modi's actually taking a different route here. This could be maybe something different. Maybe Modi going for a bit of a quick play, but already NiP going back to what they like to do, sit back quite far at the start, not give away too much, see if there is any of that aggression. And here he comes. It might not work out. Get Right actually doesn't land the shot that he needs to. Glaive has the perfect opportunity to punish, and now there's finally a bit of exciting play coming out from Team X. A little bit of aggression here and there. Got to be careful going in towards Underpass. That has been Freiburg's domain. And he's been actually very, very good in here.
Just patient, incredibly patient play from Freiburg now as well. Oh, shutting that door, maybe not a smart idea. There's no chance for a refrag off the back of that one there as well. Of course, Freeze was sort of cut out of that entire situation. So Freiburg gets away with murder there, literally. And Freeze now has to open the door back up and go, oh, well, I guess I might have messed that up one. Now I'm going to have to come back in onto this. Interesting stuff here. We like a bit of CT aggression, Lauren. We talked about it. Henry brought it up pre-show. Said this is a map where it can be showcased well. Discussed the meta, I guess, of that short burst of CT aggression, then pulling back. Well, I got him 1 kill there as well, but just a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a kerfuffle there is costing Team X dearly. Oh,
the timing on that one. Freeze just looked away at that moment. That's got to be incredibly frustrating for him. But again, NiP grinding out these rounds. They lost out on the opening advantage then, and they could have lost a lot more. However, they just find these kills back again. It's incredibly frustrating, I can imagine, for Team X, but they do give up these opportunities. Now, Snappy is very much alone. That's the biggest issue here, and already Disco Doppler going to look to exploit that. They know he's going to be here. Exist was more than enough to deal with him, and is leaving the last 2 players who've classically been over towards the B site. Moddy's been kind of floating in between, but Disco Doppler in a really nice spot to catch anyone else out. Early's going to try and get a couple on the way through, but there's not much more for this round apart from saving these guns.
And with the bomb just being planted as well, still a few moments for Team X to play hide and seek, or at least set up there as well. NiP will be in hot pursuit. It's going to be Exist making his way down in towards spawn. So if Aldo can't ferret himself away in this tunnel quickly enough, he's going to fall, especially with Exist now coming in from behind. Again, taking these guns away from Team X is of utmost importance here because they haven't solidified that economy yet, Lauren, as well. They really do need to save these weapons. And, well, it's not really easy to hide when there's still so much time left in the round there as well. Forest there, just to add insult to injury, will take that gun away from Moddy. So, again, SK trying to keep their head above water. They've lost, I'm pretty sure they've lost all these rounds in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't actually tell because my ear doesn't work.
mean,
Rush, can you press tab? Thank you.
All right, so, yeah, all but one.
Yeah, that's not fun. CT side economy is pretty punishing as it is, especially when you're staring down that sort of streak.
Especially when you can't get yourself little, you know, packets of cash by, I don't know, planting a bomb or something like that as well.
Yeah.
You don't have objectives built into the round to give you extra cash as well. So if you don't kill the enemy team, then, well, you're struggling.
Yeah, and I actually feel for Team X and NiP because NiP's start to these rounds has been just sit back, see if they actually pull out any of that aggression. The only thing that kind of worked out was Get Right missing that shot when he was playing towards short, and they finally pushed out there on their buy round. But again, just NiP, the way they approach this game, it's incredibly hard to find that sort of aggressive stance and go for that CT-sided aggression. They will pull themselves in towards a different side of hit. They pull themselves into working up A long, or wherever it is they want to go in this round. Generally, it has been working towards A, and it's been actually very, very good from them.
There's a reason why people call Ninjas in Pajamas the comeback kings, because once they read your play or sort of read into what you're doing, and they do it very astutely here as well, the solution they come up with is almost always then requires the opposition team then to make adjustments of their own here, very much keeping Team X on their toes.
And I like the way then Freiburg and Gerai actually cleared Underpass. Considering the fact that Team X had been stacking that out, I think they're going to realize that this isn't just your regular round. They might be playing a little bit more default. They might be stacking out one of the sites. Probably going to just walk themselves towards A. It is pretty much just a default round for Team X, just with very, very limited amounts of weaponry.
And Snappy hoping to hear something or work this corner as well. He actually avoids the flashes, and it's Get Right caught there. Bit of a compromising position to be spotted out there. Freiburg at least can reply. Goes quite low in the process now as well. And Moddy, well, we saw Valde in that position getting cut down through smoke earlier on here. It seems NiP are ready to check and pre-fire that one quite happily. And now it's just 2 left. 5-7 and CZ remains for the 2 Team X players. And Glade wants to fancy a bit of a peek here, but he's just going to tap away. Still lose the jewel though. Oh God, couldn't even write this stuff. And Forrester back away as well, not really getting much damage done with that Tech 9, but enough at least to force Team X back.
Let's go Doppler. Just gonna be hanging around as well. We saw that previously Moddy did try and go for that very sneaky sort of play when the bomb was down on B, and it was Disco Doppler again to be the one waiting for him there. So just gonna wait it out. Valde doesn't have much of a shot in this one. If you can get maybe a kill here, good stuff. Again, still looking for more. If you can get a gun away, that'd be pretty good. But I don't know if they're gonna allow him to do it. Oh my God, Forrest missed the shot. It opened up a chance, but the Tech 9 still ready and waiting to be fallen back towards. Now the scoreline doesn't look too drastic if you actually kind of like just take a glimpse at it, but you look at the run it's been on, you consider the fact that, okay, Team X did pick up the pistol, they kind of went on the spree off the back of it.
Take those pistol rounds out and what he got.
Yeah, exactly, right? It does come down to the fact of a big swing, and he's been starting to become quite clean rounds as well for NiP. That's a bigger problem. Their money is looking incredibly good. Exist and Forest pretty much becoming in the bank of NiP. They can just drop out whatever they need to.
The rest of the half.
Exactly. And we've finally got a double AWP though, actually, for Team X, so that could be quite nice to see it in sort of play. Glaive now going to be picking up this position. Jeremy Valde's been playing there, so again, a little bit of a different piece coming out. Get Right, though, doing a little bit more of a classic style for him, just kind of playing that lurking position, wait and see if that short aggression comes through. Does he get any, does he hear the boosts coming out? What information can he gather here for the NiP boys? And it completely cuts off Team X finding any rotates or push-outs from that B site.
I like how Henry talked about as well yesterday, being a lurker or an IGL that sort of goes out in front as well and gets information. because less of an input lag when you want to give a bit of info across there. Glaive, unfortunately, missing out of some of the info himself there. Timing wasn't with him.
If Get Right had waited 10, 20 more seconds, that could have been 2 kills there as well. That's, you know, timing does come down to being everything here. Freiburg, I think, is actually becoming a little, maybe aware of a couple of steps he's heard, spraying in towards it, showing there's still presence here. And they're going to isolate eventually Snappy and possibly Freeze if he doesn't fall back from this. They have no one really actively holding long. Again, this Modi just jump spotting, so they don't have that real presence. That means that Snappy's got to be careful. Again, timing comes down. He could be caught up here. He could be closed in on, and the pinch could be very unfavorable. But last time, Freeze did hit the shot.
Not much to hit when you can't see a thing there as well. Snappy, again, manages to make light of that little corner spot there as well. A slight tweak in his position from that round prior where he got the pistol kill, but still works really well. And this now just going to take the wind out of NiP's sails as Forest. He will fall as well. Just towards the end there, Modi with the USP. Yeah,
great positioning them from Freeze. I think he just found a really nice spot around the smoke and played it incredibly well. So yeah, that was actually very enjoyable to watch from my perspective. So you finally see a bit of a difference coming through. It seems like it was just a complete whitewash. NiP were just going through the motions by that point, but now finally we actually see a little bit of a turnaround. Maybe just even having that double AWP just really paid off mentally from. It didn't seem to have any other impact from that, but this is a different piece now from NiP.
Yeah, I mean, Glaive's positioning really didn't lend him to getting too many kills here, but there you go. Smoke comes in here towards toilet block.
And this is the thing that I like about this map. The higher skybox allows so much more creativity to allow these plays. This feels very reminiscent of that 3-smoke play on Cobble that we see coming out from NiP on their T side. It allows these guys to get up close and personal. This seems like a far quicker A hit, but there's already 4 players here actually for the CT side. This isn't going to be an easy one to crack in towards.
Yeah, Freeze, and they're trying to pressure him as well by getting up in his face, but now Freeze is actually hitting the shots. This is where it really counts. Looking for Get Right, but peeks into that one as well. It's a bullet going straight for his dome, gives him a close shave, a bit of a reverse mohawk. They now have to back away as well. Still has to open some health, so that is a blessing in itself. And then NiP down to 2 players here as well. Would like to work on towards his side, but they're like utility, just the one smoke on Forest, and that's all they've got to work with.
And the problem is they know they have to take at least one straight up fight to even get a chance in towards this bomb site. And they're very... Oh, Forest!
What are you made of, my man? Exactly.
That was actually pretty nuts. Just following him back off the timing, that was so crisp from Forest. All right. I don't know if you can get any more though. This, you surely can't string this stuff together.
Reminds me of Michael Lilly's ridiculous shot on that Cache A side play last season. But, I mean, still, it's going to take a little more flashy plays to get it done and Get Right. Well, it's not pretty. It's just effective. He's getting the job done, getting his hands dirty, and Forest comes in with another one as well. Now we have the 2v2. The bomb gets planted down, and Modi over towards the back of Bank. He's going to be throwing out that smoke early on here while it looks to try and set something up, but Get Right shuts down Glaive. Well, now it's a 1v2 or 1v1 even as the nade hits true. But the bomb is down. Get Right can peek into this one. Timing will be of the essence in just a moment now. Modi goes for the fake. Modi gets the shutdown. NiP inches away from stealing that one right out from under Team X. But Modi comes up with the goods in the end.
That was a 2-on-5. You cannot lose those. Okay, that first shot from Forest, you can't account for that, right?
Yeah.
That's something that can happen. However, the rest, like, let's watch this back.
He gets punished so badly
and
here
he knew he was going to step back into the side, right back through. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. The fact, though, that they were able to unravel that crossfire, a 3-player stacked crossfire, is massive. Again, however, Modi came through with the consistency. Get Right was incredibly low by that point. Very hard to work around for him. So back in we go. 7-7 now. It's becoming a bit of a close game. Quite exciting to watch. Get Right, though, looking for that early presence towards shore here. Not going to find much more, though. Glaive's waiting on the other side, expecting him to be peeking up from those sandbags.
He's lingering here as well, so Get Right taking a bit more of a proactive role, perhaps, to his lurking here as well. Trying to at least get some information, get a read, even an early kill as Team X was setting up would have been nice, but he gets nothing for it. And now, again, back to his sort of default role here of just keeping his ears to the ground and the wall, essentially. Making sure he can keep tabs on Team X's movements here through the mid to late round as well. It's going to be very important for that information to be given across. Valde would like to, I guess, remove him as well. He's going to be a problem if Team X are going to, I guess, make too much sound or give too much away here. In the meantime, the rest of NiP are split. There's a couple in toilet block there as well. You can see Disco Dopin being very diligent in checking all those corners and making sure it's a safe passage for NiP up along.
So, 3 players already on the site waiting. Team X just holding this one as it is. Not going to be rotating anyone early to either sort of side. They've been playing this sort of starting setup from the very beginning. The difference being, though, NiP are actually looking like they might want to hit B. They're selling a bit of a kipper here. Look at this. The smokes are going down. Forest is showing presence. He's making sure they know he's there. And then look where all these guys are lining up. It's going to be just down pretty much to Glaive here. Forest is actually doing damage. That's an even bigger threat. Now he's removing presence from there. Glaive has to deal with it all.
Oh, the fake is pretty darn nice, actually, as well. Yeah, Glaive is going to be in a bit of struggle town. A lot of...
It's a double fake.
Oh, my lord.
With 15 seconds.
Forest is still pressuring as well over A. This has to be very, very quick, and there can't be anything that goes wrong here for NiP. Do they rotate back now? Because Forest has messed things up over at this A side. He gets cut down, but it's just Valde left now as well. He will be found, and he will be dealt with accordingly here. 8-7 there for NiP. A hugely good run, of course, after the first few rounds being dropped away. Wow. I mean, we saw Team X pick up one there in the interim, but generally speaking, there much more impressive stuff from NiP. Yeah,
you even started to see that NiP play that was kind of listed out by Henry before with the the molly coming in towards the barrels, the smokes kind of covering the site, and then they went back around again. So NiP pulling out all the stops here, but still another half to go. Yeah,
unlike Molly to get caught out on that site like that. But anyway, we're going to go into our second half after a quick break, ladies and gents. Don't go too far. It's going to be NiP versus Team X second half here on Overpass. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Things are starting to heat up here on Overpass as NiP have shown a nice little streak of dominance towards the end of that first half. The T sides seem to work out quite favourably for them. The executes are crisp as we come to expect from this Swedish lineup, but now they go on the CT side, and we were pleasantly surprised and impressed, I think, by Team X's T side on Cobble.
Yeah.
Well, we're interested to see maybe what they're going to bring out here on Overpass, perhaps.
Again, what depth do they have to bring? Do they have, a real variety to show us what they've got? That's what I'm looking forward to. And bearing in mind, there's still that little bit of an ace up the sleeve that came out to play for NiP, which was Disco Doppler. He had a very bad T side on Cobble, then turned his performance around on the CT side. So hopefully for him, he fills that role a little bit now. He's on, what, 3 to 10?
Will it be Disco Can't Stoplin or Disco Floplin? That's the real question. We need to see more from him. It was really good last night, I thought. I was very impressed by him. I think as everyone was as well. I mean, you kind of see those players get hyped a lot, like a lot of Reddit clips as well.
Forrest okay, by the way.
Okay, then Snappy. I'm not really sure. Is this another RPK moment? That was great.
No, I'm going to hold it together. But yeah, NiP just walking out and taking fights. Why not? Forrest started off the round by just spinning around on top of the A-bomb.
As you do.
It's Forrest. You know what I mean? He's hitting shots through the bomb side itself. He might as well go for it. And Exist going to take the... Well, basically taking the peak quite deep there. Again, you can hit the shots. There's actually 3 players up there. If they peek around by that barrel, the USPS can do a lot of damage. You can back away pretty handily from it. Again, still holding Monster, still keeping information flying between the other players. And I don't think they've seen the bomb yet. I don't think they've seen Glaive just as of yet. And now Freeze actually finds Exist. This opens up opportunities. This opens up a big problem, considering that only Freiburg's really here. Disco Doppler is above, so he can watch some of this push-up, but pressure will be coming in now.
Yeah, like you pointed out, they hadn't actually seen the bomb yet or had seen Valde. Only a couple players were spotted, and that's why NiP didn't actually have that many resources committed to this B hole thus far. Bomb goes down, smoke up there as well, so Glaive just going to have to crab walk his way on out there and be able to abscond from the site fairly safely.
Look at the HP
Great
here,
damage on towards Freiberg there as well. And in Forest and Get Right, not looking much better at all. Still, though, they can do damage. Put the gun on the man's hand. It doesn't matter how much he's limping as long as he hits shots like that one. It's going to be Forest to clean up on towards Glaive. And that's a bit of a worrying sign here, I think, if you're Team X as well. They managed to get themselves a small round buffer last half, Lauren, by winning that pistol and getting those first few rounds. This is a good start for NiP.
Yeah, they were incredibly low on HP there. Those Glocks could have done so much more, but that seemed like a bit of a weird round. Again, though, NiP showing some real presence on B very early on, pushing out, getting that first pick, falling back in. It's going to put Team X on a bit, I wouldn't say a bit of a tilt, no, but it's going to be annoying to deal with. Get Right going to be doing that smoke all the way down deep towards Monster. It should allow, early presence. It means you can just lock it out nice and quickly. The player who actually goes B like Exist doesn't have to worry about doing that sort of thing. However, that molly coming in indicates Team X is going to be going for a hit off the back of this, and they are. Glaive already barrels in. Exist has to do with many players coming forward and already does exactly that. Valda and Glaive get picked up.
Yeah, tenuous stuff from Exist to start with. They're a little bit desperate, but he does manage to master himself and his aim after a short period of time. Now the bomb goes down. It's again daylight robbery here for Team X. Look at the bomb goes down. They're nowhere to be seen there as well, but a Molotov will cut them off from short now as well. It's either push through or let the bomb be defused in due time now as Freeze goes down. So the presence for Team X is all concentrated in one area. They've got to push, they've got to challenge, and it's not going to be enough. Snappy Force right on back here as well. Bomb will be defused before he can intervene.
And have they got plants in both rounds now and they forced up in the second?
Yep.
Okay, Team X.
Yeah, I know, right? It's interesting Force. But again, I mean, yeah, they managed to get these plants in. We were talking about NiP having this sort of aggressive, lightning fast B execute where they get the bomb down, but that's the second round in a row we've seen it from Team X there as well. I mean, as well, you get the bomb down, right? But you're ultimately trying to win that round, and they seem just to fall apart in the afterplant scenario.
Yeah, the problem being is, look at the advantage NiP is now going to have. They're going to be able to keep these UMPs, get a huge buffer of money as well, which means their economy is going to become far more robust than I can imagine Team X would have wanted by now. I don't know. If they can get another plant out, it'll be impressive, but it's not going to equate to much more. I very much doubt this is going to be a big round win for Team X. They shouldn't be able to get away with too much here either. Again, all that spray is going to do so much damage. Forest with such control here. This is gorgeous stuff from him. He does end up falling to Modi. However, one of the UMP players can switch it out, pick up the M4 again, and that's perfectly fine. So look at the money. Let's just take stock of this. 9.6k already on Disco Doppler. These guys are so well set. Exist up on 7k. Forest just below that.
That's 3 rounds.
Yeah, this is a lot of money to be having already very early on. It means that the buys are going to be absolutely perfect. They're actually going to stick on the UMPs as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few teams do this, really, even when they know they're playing into teams with the AKs as well. It's very efficient, good bang for buck, I guess, weapon if you're talking about the UMP. Yeah,
and both of them were playing on the B site, so maybe that's just a way they're going to approach it. I'm not sure how they actually plan to do much with them. Again, the UMPs aren't bad. They can still do work against armor.
It has like rifle level penetration, doesn't it? Or quite high penetration of its class.
For an SMG, yeah, it does have incredibly high pen against armor.
In Freiberg now, we saw that spot used a lot on the other side by Get Right last half.
And this is something that I actually quite enjoy about NiP as well, that we saw a little bit actually on the CT side from Team X, but nowhere near as much as what we're already seeing here. Is they kind of completely forgo toilets, and then they have that 2-stack on long. You've got Forest kind of being allowed to be played into by Disco Doppler. That's pretty much all it is. It's going to be tough for Freeze to unravel this, because Forest comes into gear off the back of the contact with Disco Doppler, or hearing an early shot towards the tree. So this is quite a nice piece. Again, it's very hard for Team X to read into this, but if you walk into an already aiming or Forest, that's not going to go too well for you.
I mean, I guess Forest was thinking Freeze fires off a couple pot shots and then just completely ignores it and gives up. I like that Freeze came back there as well and just gave it another look.
How has Freiberg got here? Can we appreciate what he's doing right now? He is behind so many players now. Okay, Freeze is round the back. He's got a very short lifespan, but the point being now is they've done the damage, they've got the information, and Freeze is left in a 1v3.
I think Modi wasn't spotted there. I think Modi was in underpass. He just didn't spot Freiberg. I think the timing was off for him there as well. So Freiberg gets up behind, and that's just a little gap, I guess, in the lineup there for Team X, which ended up being a huge chink in their armor. Freiberg just comes in, derails the whole shebang, and it's 12-7. It's 5 rounds to the favor of NiP so far in this half, and it's not looking any better for Team X. That was the buy round last round. They made very little happen with that money.
And again, this is the problem. They're not building up that money at all. That second round coming back in on the Tech 9s is really biting them in the arse here. Again, the smoke comes out. Let's see what Team X have. It's it's not looking pretty, let's put it that way. Forest could have been caught out there if they were maybe instantly going up from Underpass. They're looking to try and do that, trying to pressure him, but that molly is so well placed, it buys him time. He can back away and hold a new angle with the AWP. So Glaive looking for other options. Freiburg spots it out. Molly goes down. It's wherever they go, they're being met by sheer fire.
Yeah, that's right. Well read into by NiP as well. They're more than happy to expend this utility to keep Team X at bay, make them frustrated, make them feel as if they're running out of time, which they in reality are, and force them into making a mistake. And they're going to sit back and kind of just wait for that to happen here. You can see the smoke there up on that corner. Looks like a boost attempt there as well. Glaive just wants to peek out and get a bit of air there as well. Disco.Doppler goes very low from the presence on towards long, and now this is Team X starting to converge, making this pincer maneuver actually happen. Forrest is caught out with nothing but a USP in his hands, and these Tech9s are doing work. Get right now has to stand tall here, but Modi cuts him down in the underpass of Bank, and Freiburg responds here, but 2 players up against 3 is a Molotov there, Freiburg as well. I don't think he does want Freiburgs with that bomb down, and Valde is low, so the challenge for Freiburg's going to have to come in quick.
All right. This is a really cheeky bomb plant, but kind of dangerous because he can sit in the cover, but he's going to be found out by Freeze in the end. Good positioning from him, but making something out of nothing there for Team X. That round looked all but done. They were being herded left, right, and center. The information was flowing, but as soon as they got up close and personal, they were actually landing the shots.
Yeah, as soon as Team X was staved off of that B side as well, they made a really nice, very mobile, fast pincer maneuver over on towards A as well. I like that they come from the toilet block and from long. The pressure onto Disco.Doppler as well, who I think had an AWP, got cut down by a Tech9 at 100 paces or so, and that pressure was on from there.
Who doesn't like the pistols in CSGO, Mitch?
I love the pistols in CSGO. You know who else loves them? Halvor. Vendetta loves pistols in CSGO.
It's the easiest way to trigger him.
Oh.
It's just so easy. It's fantastic.
It's a great way if you do just want to sit and listen to obviously someone talk about CS as well. Just throw it at him as well, and he'll be at your phages as well. Gets real sardonic and sarcastic about it. I love it.
Okay, so Team X coming into this one. Let's see what they're doing here, because already quite an incredibly passive start. Maybe expecting some CT-sided aggression. There has been certainly toyed with by NiP so far, but realizing that may not be the case, Glaive has gone and kicked up the pace by some margin. Having a bit of a leering towards those toilets areas, but actually Disco.Doppler and Forest aren't far away. So again, keeping himself just in check and not overextending. You can go for the boost here, have a little peek towards short if they fancy it. There it is. Just have a little look over. No one pushed out. Hyper aware that there is often quite a chance there for the CT side of NiP to actually go looking for these sort of spots. So again, look how deep the NiP guys are playing, barring Doppler and Forest.
Again, same for last round as well. They just got kind of picked apart at range by Tech9s of all things. So still need to be aware. Maybe a bit of proactivity from NiP may pay dividends here. I like this position from Forest. So he can dismantle that 3-man stack up on the corner, and they're trying to get peaks or boost each other up. This is a very aggressive position for Disco.Doppler though as well. Very far forward for him.
Yeah, and he's holding the flag for Forest. Forest, though, does actually excel in his position. He gets the support he needs, but Snappy is in the position to make it hurt. He can try and pressure Forest left or right, and actually, you wish the first shot. Forest adjusts better. That's the caliber of player you have on this NiP side. You can pull that sort of play off. Again, Team X played it well. It was exploitable. Disco.Doppler didn't have the best of angles there, and he got overwhelmed.
Does Disco.Doppler have to stand so far forward to watch that angle, or can he do it from the side?
Well, Freeze was watching it further back. It's just a really kind of thin angle you have to hold. But I feel you fall in that trap sometimes of really wanting to support your teammate as much as you can. So you kind of overcommit, and you give yourself the chance to be pretty much exploited instantly, unless you hit like incredible shots back to back, which is it's tough to do. Again, Team X were flashing and pressuring that to remove him from it. He's always going to be at a disadvantage in that sort of mental state where they're going to be playing already with the assumption that there's someone going to be there. But looking at Team X now, they're going back in on this.
I mean,
I guess you have to at this point.
Yeah, the money distribution is really weird as well. Is it Freeze and Snappy had like 10k between them? I think Valde, Modi, and Glaive had 6k. So, I mean, you just can't try and force around this AWP and AK. I mean, you're running out of time if you're Team X here as well. And
let's just highlight right now. We've been we're singing the praise of Disco.Doppler previously to this game. It's actually been Freiburg who's been consistently stepping up here as well. He has been pretty much at the forefront, whether it be top frag or not. He has been an incredibly integral role for NiP, which is very, very refreshing to see. However, into this round, this is a bit of a last-ditch attempt coming in for Team X. They're facing a bit of a heavy scoreline here, and again, it's going to be Exist on the other side. Molly goes down. That's going to warm this one up.
God.
That's going to hurt.
Oh God, it's like Salem all over again. There's just one man left. It's Freeze just out behind the smoke. The rest of his team just gives themselves up as burnt offerings. Let's hope they get something good for it here this next round, because they're damn well going to need it.
Ouch. Absolutely ouch. That's not a way you want to go down. He ended up only getting one with the M4 to start with, and the 2 molly kills going back to back. That sucks for Team X. And now 14-8. They're very much on that precipice of going in towards that infamous kind of final throw of things here. The Tech-9 buy comes back out. These guys seem to be completely opposed to kind of foregoing rounds here. We've seen the consistent buy up throughout this game from them, and Forest can just adopt and have a great read on this. They're going in for the peak, but it's an instant trade out actually. At least Forest with a massive amount to handle. He does it again. He comes up with a good sub consistently. He's being pressured. He predicts it too. Glaive absolutely ruined.
This pair of Forest and Disco Goblins really nice actually in the last couple of rounds. And then obviously if Disco does get picked off at long range, well, Forest just picks up the AWP and uses it himself. You know, he's quite capable of doing that. Great way to take the guts out of Team X who are trying to set up here. So that Force gets nothing. Now it's a Scout, it's Tech-9s, as much utility as they can pack. And this is match point here for NiP.
Oh, 15-8. Team X, what happened? You had so much promise on that T side. You know, we theory crafted that there could be something really enjoyable to come through from this one. It's just really not stepped up. NiP,
wistful more than anything, I suppose, from us.
It does feel as though that's been the case. It's going to be down to Freiburg and Forest to make that first contact. Freiburg with the AWP.
Yeah, okay. Crazy things have happened, I suppose.
He's like, please take it away from me, Forest.
Yeah, I'm done with this. I'm out ski. I mean, Forest actually passed it to him at the end of the last round, I think, or maybe he died. No, Freiburg picked it up in underpass, that's why. So he starts off with it, doesn't get much done with it there as well. Oh, mate, Adam hoping for a bit of a highlight clip, but Forest gets it done as well. Maybe a good decision to hand the AWP back over to this guy. And now steps forward at the smoke here as well. This is risky, slightly isolated. Has to back away through, but Glaive catches him with a Tech-9 through the smoke. Now we'll see some aggression come off the back of that for Team X. That's the starter's gun going off here as well, but Get Right, expertly positioned there as well. Mows one down. It's got to be a Vert nade as well. A nerdy nade is real. Get Right.
Into the body.
Yeah, as you do. Okay, fair enough. I mean, not the prettiest way, but now it's a 2v2. Valde's cut down there as well after getting on towards Get Right. It's just Modi left. The bomb is actually back towards long here as well. He's been cut off from it. That's done. That's done.
I don't see this happening for Modi. He's got to go incredibly big to pull this one off. He does have the molly at least still, but Exist, he's aware this could be a possibility. He's positioning for it. They're going to all posture towards this side of the map, make Modi come back into it, not have the advantage on the peak. And Exist is watching this like a hawk. This should be Exist shutting it down, and it will be. There it is, NiP picking up map 2.
And it is a bit of a shame, Lauren, as well, because there were high hopes for us coming in to look at Team X as well. They are very much a hard team to read over the last couple of days, I think it's safe to say. I mean, yeah, NiP looking pretty good tonight as well. It's safe to say they're not world-beating form as they were, but we've heard tales of what Team X did to FaZe last night after we saw them here in the Pro League, and I think it's even kind of illegal in some countries the way they did it. But yeah, and obviously when we saw them play as well, it was a little bit underwhelming there. So the pendulum swings with these guys, Lauren. We're going to be a while before we get a real read on the caliber of this team. This
is the thing. When I was watching them against FaZe, I sat there again. I was like, I don't know if FaZe are in one of their good form moments, if they're in a very slow start to the season. Again, though, it does look as though we have a very much of a team who can challenge.
Sure.
I don't know if they're a team that can close, which is the next big step. Again, they always feel like they get quite close, and then they just either run out of depth or they don't have that closing ability. I don't know what really creates that in a team, but again, it's enjoyable. It gives competitive games. This map, however, wasn't quite to the standard of the first, but still, considering the disparity, if you look on paper between these lineups, it was still a decent enough match.
And the depth of the map pool is something that's just going to have to come in time as well. It's good to still see what they're capable of on maps that they maybe do like picking, like Cobble, for example. But that's all from us for now, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to pass it back over to the desk here as well. They can break that last game down for you bit by bit. Alex?
What's going on, guys? Yes, thank you very much, Pansy and Mitch. So, right, let's understand a little bit about what went wrong for Team X in this instance. Because again, it's the same story we were telling even yesterday and in the previous map on Cobblestone. Henry, I'll start with you because you kind of just said it off air. You were saying like, it always starts well for them and then it just slips away. This is not NiP being comeback kings, it's just Team X, surely. That's what we focus.
This time they go up 5-1 again. They look like everything's going swimmingly. They're going to have a great half here. And then it all starts falling apart. This is NiP starting on the T side here. They were doing, as we described, they're doing the slow defaults, working to those executions. And there were some very close rounds opening it up. They win the first gun round, that full reset comes in, and we thought, okay, this is X in a great position at this point. They can actually get a good half here, win the half overall, but going from 5-1, then losing 8-7, something went horribly wrong for them. It was NiP kind of just finding those get-right lugs towards B especially were really, really strong. They were actually working tremendously well, and they were just getting the great map control we talked about. It was seemed like Team X couldn't find those opening picks that we were describing about before, getting the first pick and locking down an execution. Wasn't really happening at all. NiP getting that control, getting the position, those great wall of smokes are very good at actually getting those down. Once the bomb's planted as well, they don't plant in the default spot. They're very aware that spray downs can come in. And yeah, it was just a great performance from them overall. NiP, after going 5-1 down and winning, what, 16-8, that's a good day in the office for them. They go up 2-0.
So, I mean, I get a bit of a cliche question, but where does the praise go? You know, do we criticize the Team X or do we start, praising NiP during this game?
I think it's a bit of both. That round when they were up 5-1, I think that's where it all started, falling down for Team X, because it was a round they should have won, and instead of that, they lose it, then they lose the next round. That's where their economy completely shatters, and it's much harder on Overpass to go for those aggressive plays where that we talked about, when you don't have a good economy, you don't have the AWP, you don't have your grenades, and NiP did a great job of taking advantage of just that.
I'd actually like to kind of raise a question I asked you off-air about this kind of second round bye.
You asked a lot of interesting
I did ask a lot of questions on that. This one was related to game.
I was scared there for a second, Alex. I'm gonna have
you don't want to know what we talk about when the cameras are off. What I do, though, want to ask you is about this second round buy. So they got the bomb plant in the first round, then proceeded to concede the round. And often, if you get the bomb plant, you save and get the full buy in the third. That wasn't what Team X chose to do. They bought up with the full armors and nades and Tech 9s. And I mean, is this something you see more often than not? I mean, this was quite surprising, no?
I think it depends on the teams, and it depends if you have a proper strategy for that round. Because you see it on maps like Cache or Mirage, where teams go for that buy even when they have the bomb plant, so they get the grenades and the Tech 9s, so they can go for a smoke execute right towards the A bomb site, because then you can close the distance, you can flash yourself through, you can power through with those Tech 9s, get control of the bomb site, and then even if you have the bomb down, the numbers advantage, the CTs sometimes, because they know that you planted the bomb and you're most likely going to go for the third round buy, they buy M4s and no grenades, or maybe even no head armor, right? So they take the risk, so they have a really healthy buy for that third round when you're going to have the AKs. So it's a gamble of that sort. You're trying to read your opponent and see, if you're thinking that they're going to have a couple of M4s, not a lot of grenades, then you can, with a good execute, you can push your way through, and then you actually have the advantage there.
It's certainly the Hail Mary play. It's when you need something going in your favor. You've had a rough few rounds, and you're trying to bring it back. It's a surprise play. It can bring morale back into the team. It's almost as good as winning the pistol in that respect, especially on the T side. So it's one of those plays. I don't particularly like calling that sort of thing. I think it's very risky to do. You feel like the AKs in the third round, you've got such an advantage in terms of the utility and the AK-47s, but it's definitely not like, it's not like a bad call or anything like that. It's one of those things, like Bianca said, if you get the smokes down, you get the bomb down, make things very uncomfortable. They're not going to have the utility to retake you. They want to have certain kits. So there's definitely, there's
merit to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's just, it's much rarer than the AKs on the third, but it's definitely got some legs to it.
And it didn't quite work out for Team X in the end. They do concede both of those maps. NiP going to be climbing up I was about to say ladder, more of a leaderboard. There is a ladder perhaps as well. Anyway, we will be going ahead and disappearing before we do head over into our next series. You get two delightful games, and this one does feature none other than VP. You get to see them battling versus FaZe after our break. Intrigued to see if Virtus.Pro can continue to climb up that leaderboard. Not a ladder. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and of course, I do want to once again remind you about the Score Esports application. Now, this enables you to actually keep track of who was performing during that game, who on NiP is shining brightly so far at the start of our ESL Pro League. Check it out on your smartphone, and we'll be right back with your second set of maps.